Hello and welcome back. We are here in my living room again with the ever-changing screen behind us. So in case it looks like a beautiful piece of artwork and then we quickly change out the beautiful piece of artwork for another piece.
Yeah, we were talking in the last podcast, we were talking about the supernatural and miracles and so forth. And it occurred to us too late, but we should have said, look at the miraculous artwork back there that keeps changing on its own.
Yes, it's so nice. Well, today we're going to do another episode of Looking Back, and this project was from 1976, Just Right album.
Just Right.
It is available on the website, and so we're just going to feature it today. And where were you? You were living here, right, in Lindale. Where was this recorded? Looks like Phil Johnson.
Recorded in Nashville. Yeah, Phil produced it. The title, actually, I just now thought of that, Just Right. Where'd we get that title? That was actually from my grandfather, my mom's dad, Grandpa Harbert, who was always kind of my hero. He was probably one of the most godly men I've ever known. He was a man's man, fought in World War I. He broke horses the old-fashioned way. You break them or they break you. He was a boxer for a while. He was a tremendous outdoorsman, trapper, hunter, fisherman. I can remember fishing with Grandpa many times. And he became a Christian in his 30s. He died in his early 80s, and in that amount of time, he read the Bible through over 100 times.
Wow.
He just devoured the Word of God. Whenever I went to Grandpa's house, which he always lived no more than a couple blocks away, he never drove a car. We took him everywhere. He was just like another dad, and Grandma was just like another mom. They were at all the birthdays, Christmas, everything. But he was just an amazing man, and being that man's man, as I said, and yet at the same time, if he'd start talking about the Lord, he'd tear up. He had such a tender heart for the Lord. Well, that word, whenever you asked him, and everybody in town, St. Paul Park, Minnesota, just a small little town, Grandpa would walk all over. He had really bad legs. He had a cane. He'd just kind of move along. Hey, Grandpa Ray, or Brother Ray, they'd call him. How you doing? He'd say, just right. And he was in a lot of pain. He had a lot of struggles, but you never knew it. Didn't make any difference what happened or what was going on. His response was always just right. So I kind of incorporated that. I remember I used to use that quite often, like Grandpa, how you doing, Dallas? Just right. So I don't remember exactly why I chose that title for that album, but that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
This was actually the last album I did as a solo artist before we put together Dallas Holm Praise. This came out in 1976. In July of 1976, I'm pretty sure it was July, I met with Tim and LaDonna Johnson, who eventually became, piano player, keyboard, and the two vocalists in Dallas Holm Praise. And Randy Adams, the bass player, was the fourth one a year later. Rick Norris, the drummer. But that happened. We met in July. In November of 76, we recorded the live album, which contained Rise Again. So a lot happened that year.
Yeah.
Finished up that album as a solo artist. I'm sure at the time that I released that album, I hadn't had any thoughts or conversations about putting a band together. So a lot changed in that year.
No joke. What is your favorite song on here? I'll name a few. He Means All to Me.
Well, that's a real special song in that Mom and I sang that together. That's Linda and myself singing out there.
Wow.
Yeah. We sang that for years. She had a beautiful voice. And
Still does.
Yeah. Probably even better.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That song, actually, I came across a little plaque the other day, and I'd forgotten about it. When they first started charting Christian songs, I mean, back in the day, as they say, you just sent your record to the radio station, or the record company did, and they played whatever they wanted. There weren't charts. The record company wasn't telling them, play this song. They just kind of let everybody do what they wanted to do. But there was a particular charting service. It was before CCM. There was a contemporary Christian music magazine that charted, but it was before that had even started up. I think it was called Gospel Trade or Gospel Trade Industry or something like that. And they had a charting service, and they sent me a plaque one day. It just kind of came in the mail. He Means All to Me, it charted #1. So that was actually my first, as they say, #1 song, which was a big deal. I
Yeah.
was excited about it. My favorite song on the album, and probably my favorite song, I've often said of all the songs I've written, if you, well, I've said it this way: if the Lord somehow came along and said, Dallas, pick one of your songs. From now on, you can only sing one of the songs that you've written. I would choose He Means All to Me. He
No,
Means
he
All
knew
to
me
Me.
then.
He Knew Me Then. I would choose He Knew Me Then, which surprises some people. They would think, well, surely it would be Rise Again or some other song. But He Knew Me Then, for me, encapsulates the simplicity and the profundity of the gospel message just as succinctly and clearly as any song that I've ever written. He knew me then, he knows me now, and he died for me. Now, that sounds like a really simple line, but when you study Scripture and realize that he made the first move. Bible says before the foundation of the world, he chose me, he thought of me. Now, there's a lot of theological ramifications that we're not going to get into, but it's clear that he had an eternal design, and he thought of me before I ever thought of him. And then it's the message of the cross. He knew me then, he knows me now, and he loves me. What's the next line?
He loved me then. He
He
loves
loved
me
me now.
now.
Yeah, he died for me.
Oh, how can it be?
How can it be? Yeah. He saw my face. He knew the place that I would be today. It really deals with the predetermined purposes of God, his foreseeing us and our lives and the things we would come up against. It really, in a very simple little song, gives you a pretty grand landscape of the eternal concept, vision, plan of the Lord. So for me, that's my favorite song. I've often said of all the songs I've written, that's my personal favorite. And that's the first time it ever appeared on that album. Now, months later, when we recorded the live album, we re-recorded that song, He Knew Me Then. I think there was another one on here too. Oh, well, actually two others. He Means All to Me we did on the live album. Then LaDonna and Tim sang that with me. And we also re-recorded Jesus, I'm an Open Book on the live album, but it first appeared on this album, Just Right. Jesus, I'm an Open Book. And that's one of my personal favorites too. I probably, through the years, have had almost as many requests from people that come up, are you going to sing Jesus, I'm an Open Book? Rise Again is probably the top. I Saw the Lord, Here We Are. There's some others, but Jesus, I'm an Open Book has been a real favorite through the years, and one of my favorites. Back when I could sing that high, it was a wonderful song to sing, and it's one of the songs I did at the piano. I didn't do a lot of songs at the piano, but that one just fit me better on the piano than it did the guitar. And it's Jesus, I'm an Open Book. Won't you read every page of my heart? It's just
My life. With my heart?
I don't know who wrote
It's on
this
my
song.
life. Well, and I think on this album, you wrote every song except for Where Shall I Be, right?
Yeah, Where Shall I
every
Be?
song on here, which is pretty normal. I mean, you wrote most of the songs you sang, but and Heart of Mine, wasn't that Heart O' Mine?
Heart O'
Of
Mine.
Mine.
Yeah,
Wasn't that re-recorded years later?
it
Is that on
was. I
something
did
more
that.
recently?
Actually, one of my later might have been the blues album.
Yeah, I kind of think so.
I think it was. I think we redid Heart of Mine, which is kind of an old, sort of early Kansas City blues kind of feel.
Yeah.
Actually, the Gaither vocal band did that song. They did a really, really nice rendition of it just a few years ago. I'd say within probably the last 5 years. And I think Bill sent me a text or an email one day, check this out. And knowing the Gaither vocal band, I kind of thought, well, because they're so vocally capable, they're so polished, they got such grand voices. And Heart of Mine is, like I said, kind of almost an old 30s, 40s blues kind of song. But their rendition of it, it's got this real close, I guess I would say 5-part harmony, some notes that I wouldn't even think to throw in there, and it's a fabulous rendition. So
Yeah.
if you
Look it up.
want to hear the best of Heart of Mine, look it up. You can probably look it up on YouTube or somewhere. The Gaither vocal band
Yeah.
singing Heart of Mine. It's really,
haven't
really,
heard that.
really nice.
Okay, well, this is actually one of the most requested albums that I get emails about.
Really?
This one and Didn't He Shine?
That's
I mean,
interesting.
besides
Yeah.
live, that one. But those are,
That's
these
interesting.
ones come up a lot.
Didn't
So-
he shine where I did my best Elvis impersonation? I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And I
We
wasn't
talked
trying
about
to.
that
I
one
just,
again.
if people ask who were your early musical influence, well, Elvis was one of them. I remember watching Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show. When I was a kid growing up, there weren't any Christians that played guitars and did
Yeah.
anything cool. It was Elvis and Ricky Nelson. So where my voice fell and how I sang already was very kind of similar. Now he was more of a crooner than I was, but I remember on Didn't He Shine, in fact, the song Didn't He Shine, I've had more people say, "Oh, I love that. You sound just like Elvis." And I take that as a
really?
compliment because I thought he was a great singer. A lot of people made fun of Elvis for various reasons. I happen to be a big fan, thought he was a great singer, a great entertainer, and however strange this might sound, I expect to see him in heaven. He actually loved the Lord. I know a number of people, well, several of the people that sang with him from the Imperials, Armin Morales and Terry Blackwood, Sherman Andrus, and then some others that sang with him and worked with him. He loved the Lord. When he got off the road, first thing he wanted to do was go to Jim Hamill's church, get with Jim's son, who was in I think the Kingsmen Quartet, if I remember. If I got that wrong, please forgive me. But I think that's right, Southern Gospel Quartet. And he just wanted to stay up all night and sing How Great Thou Art, all the gospel songs. That's where his heart was. Did he have problems? Did he have some issues? He certainly did. Do I? I certainly do.
Yeah.
Do we all? Yes. But I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, at least as good as my knower knows,
Yeah.
that he loved the Lord. And in those, I like to believe that in those final moments, when it gets right down to it, when life is slipping away, you focus on the things that matter most.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jesus, I think, mattered most. So anyway, you can write me letters and say, "Dallas, you're totally off the rails."
Like, did you see his hips move? There's no way.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you again soon.